folks. Chief Master Instructor Kenny Smith with Total Force Training Group. I've got a question I've been thinking on a lot, and it's, I've had some personal issues going on this past week. I'll go ahead and put these out there. On the 29th of March, 2013, my most recent ex-girlfriend, the girl I bought an engagement ring for, was prepared to make my wife. We had actually started having some issues when we parted ways back in September. But on the 29th of March, she was killed in a tragic car wreck. So I've had a lot on my mind. Some of y'all may have seen our posts on Facebook about that. But I'm the type of guy that when stuff like that happens, for those of y'all that don't know, I got really involved in the criminal element after my grandpa Robert died, and I stayed that way for many years. Part of the reason why I'm doing this whole self-defense instructor thing now, instead of living that life again, is a promise I made to Sarah after she came to see me the day after I got out of jail. I only spent one night there, but nonetheless, I got to be a guest at the Richmond County Jail, Richmond County, North Carolina Jail. And, I needed it. I'm not going to say I didn't need it. I'm not going to sit here and say I was innocent. I was guilty as sin. But anyway, she was there for me through that. But she made me make a promise to her that I intend to keep, and I'm going to keep, that I would never go back to being that guy. And one of the things I've been thinking about now is what I could have done differently when Papa passed to keep from going down that road. And one thing I realized then was at the time I was 12, 13, something like that. I was 12. I was 12 years old, so it was 99. And at the time, it was over summer vacation during school. What's a 12-year-old got to do? Nothing. Really think about it. Sit at home and watch TV. Go play outside with your buddies. Well, the problem is, me and my buddies were young, easily impressionable youths, and I realized that I could stay busy by playing on the other side of the wall. So what I've been doing now in this most recent bit, which, make no mistake, even though I'm trying to keep a strong face on this, that there's no words I can use to explain the way I've been feeling the past, week and a half. But I've been trying to stay busy for two reasons. Three reasons. Number one, I'm used to being busy now. When I'm not busy, things ain't right. Number two, I know if I don't stay busy, I'll wind up getting in trouble again. And number three, she would want me to press on. So that's what I'm doing. But one of the questions I've been pondering a lot to keep my mind occupied is, when does defense become offense? And when is offensive tactics defensive in nature? It's kind of a complex question, to be honest with you. It's a simple answer, but it's really complex. First off, foremost, I am a firm believer that the best defense is the capability to provide a strong offense. And when you think about that, it's why has the United States only been struck at home on a very, very few occasions since the beginning of its history? And the answer for that is we possess the finest fighting force in the world. That's the United States military. I could go on and talk about, my alma mater, the Marine Corps, America's Expeditionary Force and Readiness and all that. But it's one team in one fight. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if I was in a third world country that thought of a Marine battalion landing team, Navy Tomahawk cruise missiles, Air Force B-2s, and the 82nd Airborne Division getting dropped within 72 hours on my ass, would scare the ever-loving shit out of me, and I would not provoke them. Does this same deal with nation states not apply to individuals? I think it does, and my rationale for that is my way of thinking when I was a criminal. I was kind of a little bit retarded in the head. Some will tell you I still am, because I enjoy getting, well, I don't really enjoy it, but I've been getting hit for 20-some years, so, from doing martial arts. But, I ain't all there when it comes to the pain side of things. But anyway, of the guys I ran with, I was the only person I knew that would pick a fight with somebody bigger than me. And a lot of that had to do with I was just this angry little 12-year-old and, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old. And I just wanted to fight. I'm an aggressive person naturally, but everybody else I knew followed what most would say is a typical criminal mentality. which is predatory. They pick on the weak, they pick on the sick, they pick on the old, they pick on the young, they pick on the small, they pick on the alone. They pick on those that they perceive to not be able to do them harm or harm their mission or intent. And I know that's mission and intent is getting into a military term, but isn't any different. They have something they need. They have objectives they need to achieve, and they have an intent on how they think it should be done. You know, I'm 6'4" and I'm 260 pounds. So if someone wanted to strong arm me, they would need to be a big fella. At the same time, my mom is much smaller than me. Wouldn't take much there. You know, Chief Master Instructor Landis, his fiance, she's not a very big girl at all. Wouldn't take much at all to be able to strong arm her. I know people that if they knew who he was and what he was capable of, picking on Jason Landis would be about the dumbest thing they could do. But there are people that, because he's much smaller than me, would be more likely to pick on him than me. And I'll tell you that another thing I learned besides living that life, when I was bouncing, that's true. Criminals don't, and those looking for trouble, they don't necessarily want to start trouble with someone they think is going to beat their ass. All right? And anybody that was like that in school, and you know, I know everybody on here is not an angel. Okay? I know there's some miscreants on here. God knows I used to be worse than most. But, you know, hey, we all take the higher road now, so it's kind of why I want to cover this. But obviously we see that they are going to be predatory. So if you can present the image of not looking like a soft target, then hey, cool. And that's one of the biggest advantages cited to open carry by open carry advocates. I still don't agree with the practice, but they are right. There are some criminals who would target you for that weapon, either to steal the weapon or, you know, for whatever reason. But by and large, most criminals are what some, and I don't know who to credit this quote to, but anyway, one of the trainers out there is described as non-dedicated personnel. You know, they're not trying to get a hard fight, and that will deter them. So, you know, it's another reason being in shape is a good thing. No one wants to get their ass kicked by someone they think might be stronger than them. It's just a fact. I don't necessarily like getting my ass kicked either. Besides the mentality, all right, of the criminal, let's look at nature again. When a predatory animal attacks, what happens? Animals don't defend by waiting to get bit. They attack. They attack their attacker. All right, and I'm a firm believer in that. When I was younger, I used to do a lot with Robin Sage coming through here, and one of the instructors was right before I went to Parris Island, and I will never forget these words till the day I die. The students made several blunders in their target assignment, and the instructor called them all aside, and he's like, "Look, we're gonna hit another target tomorrow morning." That they actually didn't have initially scheduled. It was basically like a makeup exam. And he said, I want you guys to remember there are 3 things that win fights: speed, surprise, and violence of action. Speed, surprise, and violence of action. And he actually paused just like that and said them again. That's why, you know, and it really sank in, because I was going to Parris Island in like 2 weeks. So I was like, this is good stuff. And when we're doing our CQB stuff, when I was, you know, Camp Geiger, and we're learning how to, you know, penetrate rooms and stuff like that. Yeah, the get some stuff, you know. All I could think about was speed, surprise, and violence of action. And I know someone right there sitting there thinking, Kenny, what in the fuck does CQB and speed, surprise, and violence of action being told to Special Forces students have to do with self-defense? Answer: when you decide to take the offensive during your defense. Let's look at the definition of the word. Defense is preventing an action or act. Preventing an action or act. All right. Offense is going after it, seeking it out. So if we're defending ourselves, we shouldn't be seeking out fights anyway. I got that. All right. Hot shot. Are you going to sit in your bedroom hunkered behind your shotgun knowing your kids are on the other side of the house when you hear a break-in? No, you won't. And if you are, you're a fucking coward. Alright? Now, next thing. Let's look at it like this. You're a stand-up guy. You're a stand-up gal. You're going to protect your children. So you grab your weapon, whatever that may be. I'm going to go ahead and hit a safety protocol. Magazine well is empty. 1, 2, 3. Weapon is clear. You grab your weapon. You go condition 1. You start moving through your house. Threat. Now you're just going to stand here and freeze. Maybe you challenge the threat. Alright? Take an aggressive posture, give them a challenge. Maybe your finger goes on the trigger. Now what? They turn towards you in their arm. Bang, you engaged them, right? You sought that fight out, did you not? Granted, they came into your house, but you sought them out in your house. That's being proactive about your self-defense. That's using offensive tactics to defend yourself. So, that's just one example. Let's think of another one. My business partner, Chief Master Instructor Jason Landis, has been my martial arts instructor all my life, since I started training day one. And anybody that doubts my criminal background, he can tell you all about it, because he saw me at it when I first really started getting into it. My papa died, and during a few seminars he came back to this area from Asheville for, he picked up on it pretty quick, and he lectures my ass about it, which he needs to, and he should. But again, taking back from that, when I was just starting, some of the instructors at that school would say, if you hit first, it's not self-defense. I was like 6, maybe 7, and Jason said, if you think somebody's going to hit you, you don't have to wait on fists to meet flesh. That's a damn pearl of wisdom right there, buddy. So let's think about that. You don't have to wait on fists to meet flesh. Alright? There are people that will tell you that you acted excessively and offensively if you went to guns on someone that didn't visibly have a weapon in their hands. Or any weapon. And you know what? They are weapons. Alright? This pistol, I don't shoot competition, guys. This thing has no sporting purpose. Alright? To me. I don't have a sporting purpose. When I pull this thing out, I mean to put holes in bad people. Alright? When I'm shooting at targets, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's stress relief, but it's serious training. This is a weapon. Alright? This is my weapon. Alright? Now, why do I tell myself that? Because it reminds me, every time I refer to this as a weapon, that my purpose for carrying this thing is to stop people from harming me by harming them. Now, there are a lot of people that are going to get pissy about that. And you know what? I don't care. And the reason for that is, if you are carrying a weapon, this or this, and you are carrying it for a purpose other than to use it as intended, i.e. put bullets in things or cut things that mean to harm you, you are carrying for the wrong reason. Alright? That's just the way it is. Define a weapon. That used to injure or harm another. Well, guess what? If this thing comes out and it's not on the range and not somewhere where I'm, cleaning it or working on it or taking it off, getting ready to go to bed, if this thing comes out in public, it only has one purpose. One. And that is to stop people from harming me. That can be done one of two ways. They get a good side of muzzle and they choose to stop, or I can put holes in them until they have to stop. Or they can always choose to stop along the way. Alright? I'm very aggressive with every bit of tactics I teach. Okay? That's the way I am. That's the way I am personally. Maybe the Marine Corps had something to do with that. I don't know. But I believe, personally, that when you decide to go to using force, you continue using force until the fight is stopped. Now, what does that mean? Maybe my heavy bag here is Mongo, the local fella. And he's been talking about how, whatever, maybe I noticed him tweaking and coming down off a meth high and all that. Maybe I noticed it Maybe somebody said something about it. Maybe he was on the phone trying to score. Who knows? Now, he thinks I got money. Newsflash, I really don't. I ain't got much. He decides he wants my wallet. Here, dudes. You know what? What do I got in here? Registration card for the car. Driver's license, no big deal. VA ID, no big deal. Credit card, I'll call and cancel that as soon as I get to the house. GNC card, no big deal. Belk's gift card, no big deal. I rarely go there anyway. Allstate Motor Club card, I'll go and cancel that. My CPR card, I got to renew it anyway. What's he going to get? Nothing, really. Nothing really. The registration that's in here is expired. You know, I keep the fresh one in the car so I don't lose it. That's just in case I can't find it for whatever reason. You know, or maybe I don't want to go digging for it. And like, I can get you a fresh one. This will just show you for right now. Anyway, he decides he wants my wallet. I give him my wallet. There you go. Come with me. No. Never go to a third party. Never, ever, ever go to the secondary location. Ever. Never, ever, ever. All right? Now, he reaches for his waistband. Come with me. Do I have to wait to see what he's going to come up with? Hell no. Hell no. Now, I didn't say I'm just going to go ahead and blast him and get into all this. I didn't say that at all. You know, but I'm definitely going to get my hands up and might look to open that gap. You know, me personally, at this range, my hand might go here, and this hand's going to come up. Why? Because if he comes out of there with something that can harm me, I can go to this, you know, even from this position. You know, if he tries to go forward, I can use this to open the distance here. Okay? Maybe he's off at 10 feet, and he's telling me, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. All right? I really like standing in this position a lot. I do it all the time. How many videos have y'all seen me shoot standing like this for a while? I stand like this all the time. Cool thing about it is I can grab my shirt. Now when his hand plunges, I can get off the X and get on my weapon. Alright? I'm not waiting on him to start the fight in the physical sense. But he's given me reason to believe. Alright? He said, I'm going to kill you. Alright? He just made his intent pretty clear, didn't he? Ability. Well, you know what? I know he's a felon. Let's assume we know he's a felon, right? Maybe you saw that, you know, he's carrying a knife in his pocket, or, you know, whatever. Maybe you saw a print of a 38 in his pocket or something. You know, maybe you had an indicator. Maybe you didn't. All right, you just felt that way. You felt that he posed you a significant threat. He's telling you he's going to kill you. Does he have the opportunity? I'd say he does. Are you in jeopardy? Well, think about it. The guy just robbed you. Now he's trying to get you to another location and telling you he's going to kill you. His hand just dove for his waistband area. You might not be justified in shooting him yet, but you're certainly justified in taking him at gunpoint, especially if he's not alone. All right? And there are actually several cases where that has happened and people have been cleared. There's plenty of case law on that. That's not waiting on him to produce that weapon and actually start the fight. All right? Did you start the fight? Yes and no. All right? You're the first one to use the threat of, well, not really the first one to use the threat of force. But you're certainly the first one to physically expose that force and bear that force, but you didn't quite deploy it. You deployed the ability to use force. Let's go back to being in your house. Me and a very good friend of mine was hanging out there the other day. A particular friend's father is a retired law enforcement officer. Her brother is currently serving as a law enforcement officer. And we were sitting there just shooting a breeze. She'd done went upstairs with the baby. And I was down there talking to him. He was actually trying to get me to figure out how to take the magazine to him off his Beretta 1201 FP, which, if any of y'all know how to do that, please let me know. Because I had no earthly idea. But anyway, we were talking about, somehow or another, we got on the subject of home defense. And, you know, that got me thinking a lot that night. I had a lot of other stuff on my mind, but nevertheless, that did get me thinking about this subject. And it made me think, because, you know, I don't have many friends in this world, and On the 29th of March 2013, I lost the best one I had. So now, I see it. I ain't got but about half a dozen friends that are, the honest, no shit type that, you've known for a long time. And in this particular instance, that particular individual there and her son, obviously her father, brother, mother as well. But anyway, they may as well be family to me. I wouldn't let someone harm them. So let's say for a second I'm over there. They don't have a dog. I mean, if I'm in my house and someone comes in, if my family's not there, members of my family aren't there, I'm going to hole up in my bedroom with the dog, and I'm going to keep him quiet. And people can take what they want out of my house, unless I think they need me to kick my door in, and we're going to have a problem, because then the shepherd's coming out of the bedroom, and I'm probably going to follow him. But I sit there and think about that, and my bedroom comes out to basically a T into the main room of the house. And I think about that if I'm in another room like that, that's very hard to clear by yourself. All right? Anybody that's done anything in the CQB environment can tell you that. And I don't have much experience with CQB. I don't have much at all, actually. But nevertheless, I have a little bit of experience in it. And that was, if there's anything I don't like more than a 180-degree corner like that, it's a damn four-way intersection. Like a hallway intersection. And the only reason I don't like that is because you got so much more crap you got to keep your eye on. But anyway, if I were to come out in that, if I take that timidly and I play defensive, I'm probably going to wind up getting hurt, because the door coming to the outside would be on one side of me in the main part of the house that's actually obscured by another funnel in the hallway there that I wouldn't be able to see too well. So that would be definitely the time for aggression. Aggressive tactics, aggressive movement, very offensive in nature. I see a weapon, that would be a verbal command and putting bullets in, and, near instantly. Stop, drop it, bang, bang. Bang, bang, me probably be like bang, 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 until they hit the ground. But anyway, that's just me. I believe in shooting an armed threat to the ground. So now I'll move on to another room, right? Now I can calm down a little bit. So I think about this and I ask myself, I'm not in my house. There are people here that I care about. Technically, because it's not my residence, I'm not really too obligated to protect those people. Morally and ethically, I am. Me personally, I am. I didn't say you are, I said I am. I'm not going to sit there and wait and protect myself and not understand the fate of people that I care about. Now, if it's in an area where I know those people not to be armed, then I'm going to put myself in there as an armed individual to interject if needs be. If I know them to be armed, then once I know they're secure, I'm probably going to move forward to another position. Maybe where I can get some good observation. The house in question belonging to my friends, it's 2 stories. So I might move to a position where I'm observing the stairwell, because all the bedrooms are upstairs. All right, I might move to, if I'm upstairs, I might move to a position where I'm observing the stairwell. All right, if I'm downstairs and I hear issues upstairs, all right, I'm probably going to make certain downstairs is totally clear and secure any doors, and then I'm going to move upstairs offensively and aggressively, and certainly make myself known before I come into a room of someone who may be armed, or even if they're not armed, I really don't feel like getting sprayed in the face with a fire extinguisher or whacked with a lamp or a chair or something. But anyway, I'm not going to just sit idly by. I'm going to take the fight to the threat. And the biggest thing that gets to me is, and this is a personal thing, is combat semantics. But you can argue combat semantics on things all day long. So this is just my opinion. Anybody that talks with me is going to hear the term weapon. When I'm speaking generically about semi-automatic rifles with a detachable magazine, depends on what you're going to hear. Carbine and battle rifle. You won't hear the term assault rifle or assault weapon. You will hear assault rifle. When I use the term assault rifle, I'm talking about a selective fire carbine firing an intermediate cartridge. The real ones. All right, assault weapon doesn't exist. You will be very hard pressed to hear me refer to a gun as a firearm. Not because I don't agree with the term. It certainly is a firearm. But when you say firearm, that is a broad category. All right. When I say, you know, you draw your firearm, okay? Are you drawing your backup gun? Are you drawing your primary gun? Or are you picking up the long gun you never should have left behind in the first place? Is that a shotgun? Is that a carbine? Is that a battle rifle? Is that a precision rifle? Is it just a hunting rifle? Is it a shotgun? You know, is it a belt-fed machine gun? Do you have a minigun in your house? All right, you have a 30 millimeter cannon, 105 millimeter howitzer. They're all firearms. All right, that's just for specific. Being specific. I think specificity is the word, but I'm probably wrong. Anyway, another one is when people put defensive in front of everything else. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there's nothing defensive about a knife. Even if it's used in self-defense, it's the most bloody, gruesome, vicious weapon you'll ever use. That's why I like it. All right, so remember, your mean gene is a product of your mind. So don't dumb everything down, defense, defense, defense. Some things are offensive. All right, keep that in mind. Hope this gets some discussion. Stay frosty, stay in the fight. Y'all have a good one.